Welcome to the Sebastian Landa Show, the show where you get to hear a 23-year-old kid talk about why we, all the young generations, are so fucking confused. Today, we'll be talking about intersexual dynamics. What? Yes. Intersexual dynamics. Now, what does that really mean? There's men, there is women, and between them is a dynamic. And that dynamic is intersexual. Now, yes, I understand that there are intersexual dynamics between men and other men, women and other women, and other types of genders that I don't know of, but I respect them. Okay? Me, on a personal point of view, I can only speak from my personal point of view, and the information that I share is subjective to my point of view, right? So I can only speak for practically men that are 23-year-olds and younger, honestly. I hope that if someone that is older than me can take this information into their life and integrate it and internalize it and it's applicable, that's great. But if I want to share a message, I want to share a message to all the people that are my age and younger generations. And what I notice, there's a hypersensitization movement. What does that mean? It's that people are becoming hypersensitive, and specifically men are becoming very sensitive. And they're very sensitive, and I mean, I think we have all heard the term, soy boys, right? There's these beta chumps or beta soy boys, or all these beta sympathizers, all these men that, have a very, very, very tender emotional system in their framework, and they're having a lot of trouble getting attention from girls, maybe even the affection that they want from girls, and having a lot of trouble internalizing all the emotions going on in their life. And I say this because I'm one of them, all right? I'm one of those fucking beta chumps, beta soy boys, red, blue pill betas. I'm one of those, all right? And I'm speaking to all those men that are incredibly sensitive and have a very tender heart, and you get so easily heartbroken, Right now, I understand that men are looking for connection. And you got to understand, women are never going to love you in the way that you hope that they're going to love you. The moment that you can break through the fantasy that, men are looking for connection and women are looking for security, and break through the fantasy that maybe one day you'll be loved the way that you hope, is the day that you can actually begin to have a greater appreciation towards women. You see, there is so much information out there, the Rational Male, Rollo Tomasi, Manosphere. There's so much information out there that communicates on human behavior and the female human behavior. But what you have to understand is that ultimately a woman is looking for security. She's looking to feel safe. And that implies that she's looking for the man that every man wants to turn into. She's looking for the alpha. When you can begin to grasp the fact that the moment that you begin to focus on your life mission, on becoming your greatest potential, on falling in love with your service and the value that you bring into the lives of others, and you fall in love with your own well-being and you fall in love with your own energy, you'll begin to feel the love that you're looking for from other women. Don't ever expect to be loved if you can't love yourself, right? And so when you begin to grasp the fact that women ultimately are going to love you for how safe they feel and the security that they feel from you, is the moment that you begin to understand why they're going to be attracted to a man that is ultimately looking to develop his greatest potential rather than being attracted for a guy that is trying to sympathize with her in order to get intimate, trying to grasp her attention in order to win her over, instead of a guy that's, trying to provide for her in order for her to feel that she has a sense of, benefits from being with him, like money or like certain perks, right? You get into the club or you get into this other place, and all these better provider type things. When you can ultimately understand that you as a man, if you can develop your greatest potential and you can begin to notice that independently of she being attracted to you or not, you are your own source of peace and your own source of gratitude and your own source of love, you can begin to radiate like the sun that you're meant to be. And that's what ultimately women are attracted to. That's my take. Now, women, understand that you bring so much more value to the table than just your looks and your sexuality. And there are so many men that are looking for women that are not just seeking attention and validation. There's so much going on in social media right now, and there's so many dynamics going on in social media, and I understand you as women are looking to have more attention and validation through the social media. And when you can begin to recognize that you can bring more value to the table, like a sense of stability, like a sense of comprehension, a sense of responsibility for yourself, a sense of accountability for your own actions, a sense of self-growth, and a sense of vocation for bringing a service to the lives of other people. That's when you can begin to ultimately grow in your self-worth and in your capacity to have the guy, to be with the man that is going to ultimately love you and appreciate you for who you truly are, and not for what you can satisfy in his instincts, in his pleasure. So that's what I'm going to leave with you today. That's all that I'm going to communicate with you today. If you're interested in understanding a little bit more about dissolving all the fantasies that either you as an individual are placing on the opposite sex, and freeing yourself from all the emotional suffering that comes from being attached to a fantasy of how you think relationships should be, just send me a message and we can ultimately talk about that. I've been consulting people for 8 years to dissolve emotional charges, and I hope that this ultimately serves you to have a little bit of a greater understanding in regards to dynamics, intersexual dynamics, and how the game is really working. All right. Thank you. On the next video, we're going to be talking about having a greater sense of spiritual clarity and truly understanding the effortless path that a lot of people, my younger generation, are looking to fulfill in order for them to live a fulfilling and inspired life, and what that really implies, what that really comes down to, and how does it actually look like instead of how you would think how you think it should look like. All right? See you on the next video. And cut!